so kind of weird. Kamala Harris gave her like last pitch, I guess, to voters. Fine. But Biden almost simultaneously to that was talking and, bringing up what the comedian said at Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden rally about Puerto Rico being a floating island of garbage. And then he took his own shot on supporters of the former president.
Oh, the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Tina is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done.
Yeah, the only garbage floating out there are his supporters. Great. What do we got now? Deplorables. There was irredeemables. Yeah, deplorables, irredeemables, garbage. Like, is he trying to sabotage Kamala's campaign at this point? Like, why would that be your closing message for Kamala Harris days before the election, is to vilify roughly half of the voting population in the country? But Kamala Harris tried to distance herself from what her own president said there about the garbage comment.
Let me be clear. I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm glad she did that because, I mean, when you are the vice president to a president, he says something, it's very rare for a vice president to say they don't agree with it, but she kind of has no choice because she's running to be president and there's just days left. So this actually came to Donald Trump. He was on the stage in North Carolina. And Marco Rubio was there, and Marco Rubio was trying to deliver him the news like, oh, Biden just said this, and he gave him a slip of paper, and then Trump's reaction to it was really funny.
All right. Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage. Are garbage. He's talking about the Border Patrol. He's talking about nurses. He's talking about teachers. He's talking about everyday Americans who love their country and want to dream big again and support you, Mr. President. And I hope their campaign is about to apologize for what Joe Biden just said. We are not garbage. We are patriots who love America. And thank you for running, Mr. President.
That's terrible. That's what it says. That's what it says. So you have, remember Hillary, she said deplorable, and then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable, that didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know, you have to please forgive him. Please forgive him, for he not knoweth what he said.
He's funny. I just find the man funny now. How did I find him so unfunny for so long?
I'm so glad you find him funny now.
He is funny. Please forgive him, for he not knoweth what he says. That was in Pennsylvania. Sorry, not North Carolina. We're going to end the show with something he said in North Carolina that I thought was really good. But yeah, I mean, the garbage thing, it's like, so you rail on, so there's so many layers to this. So the whole Kill Tony joke at Madison Square Garden was stupid. It's also like, why would you do that? You need, the Puerto Rican voting base is important, especially in some swing states. And like, you're going to say that it's a pile of garbage. That just doesn't, it's a totally unforced error. But then the mainstream news went off like, oh, vile. CNN was saying, and MSNBC, that it was too like explicit to play. They wouldn't even play it back, like too offensive to play back. Too offensive to play back. Like, and that's just ridiculous, right? Yes. I mean, it is a tasteless joke for an election time. I mean, if he said it on stage, not an election thing, I think nobody would blink twice. But then at the same time, that happened at a rally where the media was calling them all Nazis and like comparing Trump. And when Harris was comparing Trump to Hitler, and she just said, can you play the Kamala Harris clip of her response to this really quick?
Let me be clear. I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for.
Yeah, but like, you're calling him Hitler. And then it's totally okay to call the Republicans Nazis and liken them to like, oh, 85 years ago, the Nazis held a rally here, so they're Nazis too. It's like this weird little like line of thought. But then there's an off-color joke about Puerto Ricans from a comedian, and that's like, oh, too offensive to even play. It's wild. It's just so predictable at this point. And I don't know if either of those things are really going to move the needle. I mean, again, for undecided voters, I don't think there's a lot of undecided voters left. Days away from the election, undecided between Trump and Harris. Give me a break. So I don't know that the Puerto Rican thing is going to sway. I don't know that the garbage thing is going to sway. But, you know, it's also, it's the sitting president. It takes on, one of them was a comedian who's known for off-color jokes. The other one is the sitting president of the United States who called half of the country, essentially, garbage. Like, independent of the election, that's insane.